Hey, TYT Sports RotoWire, Ben Mankiewicz, Chris Liss, I'm Heather Ankeny. Top 10 teams against the spread in the NFL thus far.
That's why Ben is up a game on me, because he bets Indy every week. They're 7-2. Friggin' Indy. I'm always against Indy. But let me just say one thing. I will always, it doesn't mean anything how a team's done against the spread. It actually has zero predictive value, but to the extent it has predictive value, it has negative predictive value because people bet Indy every week and they're 7-2 and they just like betting Indy now. So now Indy, it's a market, right? Now Indy's stock is up through no merit of their own, except that they happen to beat the spread, right? But the spread has in the meantime adjusted.
Yeah, sure, but I mean I would only argue with the phrase through no merit of their own. I mean they did play well and it is possible that a team could be, it's hard to do, but a team could be undervalued for some time because we keep expecting them to revert to the standard that that Vegas and we set for them at the beginning of the year.
That's true. There may be a lag before the spread catches up, but when we're 9 games in and they're 7-2, that lag has probably expired. And I'll give you an example. The 2007 Patriots that set all sorts of records, won 18-0. I kept fading them because the line was going 23, 24 every week, and I was like, I cannot take them. Everybody's betting them, and they were winning. They were covering every week. They were covering easily. They were doubling the spread. They were winning by 40. And the people in my column were like, are you freaking idiots? Why do you keep going against the Patriots? And every week I did, I kept losing. I was 0-8 against them. Well, I kept it going, and they were 1-7 against the spread in the second half. It just gets to a point where it breaks. And, it's like you can keep...
So you went 7-9 against them, and you're touting it as your big success story.
But as of week 7, that was great.
I got you.
And so these teams are
if you were
already 7-2.
Increasing your bet, you were making money.
Right, and I wasn't. It was the same bet. But these teams are 7-2. And that's not maybe big enough to have everybody on them, but on the one hand, it's zero predictive value because it's all priced in now, whatever they've done. And to the extent it has predictive value, I would say it's negative. And the Jets were 1-7 against the spread heading into last week. So
what's interesting is you look at that list, put that list up there again, is that the teams doing best against the spread, Indy, Kansas City, Philadelphia, Arizona, those teams that have really elite records at 7-2, they're all good. Those are all good teams. Then you add Baltimore and Dallas, those teams again doing well. Cleveland and Green Bay really rounding out the 5-4 teams. Those aren't real against the spread success stories. But those are all teams that are good. Those are all teams very much in the playoff chase. Teams that generally, with that, essentially, you cover this. Think about when you make those bets. There's 2 things I would learn from this. One, and we're going to take a look at the bottom teams before we go. But when you make your bets, and this has always been a theory, one of the first theories I was told about gambling. If you're going to bet an underdog, it should occur to you that they might win the game. That if you make your habit of taking teams that are underdogs, they're 8.5-point dogs, and you think, I think they'll lose by a touchdown, you were dealing with a very, very small margin of error. It should always occur to you, I think, when taking a dog, unless it's that Patriot situation, unless you're taking teams that are 14.5-point favorites, can this team win the game? Not likely to. Can they win this game?
But can't any team win a game? I mean,
yes.
Because otherwise you go to Vegas and you take all your money out, and even if you're laying 7-1, you bet it on the favorite. And you're not going to do that because you can
I'm not saying that you should bet the favorite in that game.
Money line. I'm saying money line. I'm saying...
I got it, but that's a different bet.
Right.
And I'm saying that if you make a habit of taking underdogs because you think they will lose, but by fewer points than the number, you are going to have a frustrating gambling life. Yeah. It should always occur to you, if this team is a 6, like last night when I bet the Panthers. It was a terrible bet. It's wrong. But did I think there was a chance with Mark Sanchez starting that the Panthers could win that game? A team that won the division last year that won 12 games? I definitely thought there was a chance they could win the game. That's why I was comfortable getting 7 points and betting the Panthers. So then to go to Chris's point, which I think is the right one, if there's any predictive value in this, it's the other way. They've built these numbers in. So then look at the teams at the bottom. The final 8 teams in this list are all bad teams, starting with the Redskins, starting with Washington, at 3-6. The Giants, Chicago, Tampa Bay, 1-8 Tampa Bay. Then St. Louis, Tennessee, the Jets, and Jacksonville at 1-9. Those teams are all bad, and they are all at best 3-6 against the spread. Those are the teams that maybe you ought to be looking at in the second half of the year as where there's value.
And I'll go one step farther. If we could make portfolios out of these, like stock investment portfolios, I will take the bottom 10, you can have the top 10, and I'll invest in that portfolio, betting every single one of those 10 every week, same amount of money, and you bet every single one. And I would be pretty confident that my portfolio will outperform your portfolio. Not that confident, like 55-45 confident.
This is interesting, and I wonder if this is something that we can do, because there are 8 teams that are at least 5-3-1 against the spread. Indianapolis through Green Bay on that first list. They're at least 5-3-1 where money has been made if you bet that team every week. Then there are 8 teams that are 3-6 or worse against the spread, from Washington on down to Jacksonville and the Jets at 2-7-1. It would be interesting to just, from this point on, the rest of the year, if you took those teams every week versus the top teams every week, who won?
You want to make a bet?
We're gonna let's make it.
I'll give you some odds just to make it fun, and we won't make it a big bet because I don't think you feel like you really want.
No. I'm more curious than a believer. I think
I'll give you 6-5 on $20. So it's 24, my 24 versus your 20, and I'll take the ugly ones.
Okay, and you take the bottom.
I'll take
right.
the
I
ugly
think
ones.
I will owe you money. Let's make that lunch rather than money.
Okay.
All right?
Wait a second. When I said dinner, you
We'll make
guys
it-
gave me a lot of grief for that. So now this is you can bet a meal, not money.
Well, not only because he doesn't want to go on his lifetime earnings of betting when
And
he.
I'd rather have the other
When he,
side.
All right,
when, you know, because he's a very devout person. When he meets his maker at the end of his life, obviously, which is going to happen, he doesn't want to have to account for this $20 loss on his ledger.
I don't want to lose. I don't want to, like, I'm going to win $100 from you in the regular thing. I don't want to just get 80.
Yeah, 120 is a lot to lose. I get
All
what
right,
you're saying.
thanks guys. Good luck.